Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jae Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're thrilled to have Ted Dennis, the co-founder of SBIR Connect. Ted brings a remarkable 23-year career as a U.S. Navy Master Chief Petty Officer, over a decade of expertise in the Small Business Innovation Research program, and a passion for helping small businesses bridge the valley of death to commercialize their innovations. Based in Norfolk, Virginia, SBIR Connect, founded in 2024, is transforming how small businesses navigate government contracting and secure Phase 3 opportunities. We'll be exploring his founding story, how his business empowers clients in the defense and innovation space, and his vision for scaling this mission-driven venture. With that being said, let's dive right in. Ted, welcome to Founders Future.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. A pleasure
Quite the
having you.
intro.
Thank you very well. Quite the guest I have on the show. I had to give quite the intro there for you. An incredible background. So truly excited to get into what you're doing here. So with that, take us back to the beginning for our listeners, Ted. What specific problem in the SBIR landscape really inspired you to start SBIR Connect?
It was a valley of death where everybody ends up. So it became when I realized there was an opportunity to get people out of there by either taking their old technology and selling it to somebody that could use it, and taking the 1990s tech that was still a good idea. We just bring that to a new company that has 2025 technology. We marry the two together, and then we bring them out of the valley of death once they make that connection. That's what drove it. When I realized that there's 211,000 SBIRs out there that are available, there's still sole source awardable contracts today, even the ones from back to 1982, the original SBIRs. So if we can bring those to 2025, put some new tech behind them, and make a solution, I think everybody wins.
I love it. I love it. I definitely want to get into the nuts and bolts of SBIR Connect, especially for our listeners, because I know many people may not be familiar with this space and want to get some more information or have the potential to come in and work with you at SBIR Connect and be clients of yours. So talk to us and walk us through how you're really generating revenue today. As far as the core offer, I know that you have the consulting packages and the matchmaking services, the training programs, but what does that customer journey really look like? Walk us through all those core offers and what a client can expect when working with you.
Sure. Initially, it'll just be a conversation. So we set up 20 minutes. We explore what they're doing. And I go through my Rolodex of SBIRs that are available to see if there's something that we can match them with. So once I have a good understanding of what they're doing, where they want to go, and if they are interested in the government space, then we can make that match. And that's starting with just looking at their technology, looking at some of the technology that I can find that somebody's willing to sell. And then we start having those meetings to set up either the sale or the acquisition, successor and interest of the technology. And my piece after that is to get them in front of government customers with a statement of work that says, this is what we can do for you. We can solve your problems. And then get that government customer comfortable with the solution that is a sole source contract.
Amazing. As far as that goes, how long, as far as the client works with you, how long does that usually look as far as working with SBIR Connect and that engagement?
So my story all along has been, once the customer, the client has a SBIR in their hands, if we can't get them a Phase 3 SBIR sole source contract with me helping them I cap myself at 100 hours. So if I can't get it done in 100 hours of effort, not 100 hours may take over a year to get done, right? But as those connections are made and those meetings are had with government customers, if it's not done within 100 hours of my time, it's probably not going to happen. And if I know early on it's not going to happen, then okay, we kill it 50 hours or 20 hours. But that's what I tell everybody. If I can't get it done in 100 hours of my consulting time, it's probably not a good idea. We're going to have to find something else to do.
You're going to have to find a different avenue, which makes sense. What is your ideal client that you've seen a lot of success with, that you love to work with best? what does that look like as far as who makes the most sense for this?
My perfect client is someone who's already in the government space. They have a technology that's not under contract. The government has seen it and they have interest and they have money. So the lack of a contract vehicle is where I come in. So if I find somebody that's got all of that interest, they have a government customer that has money in their pocket ready to spend, they just don't have the contract, I can make that contract happen through a SBIR of some sort, whether we acquire one, whether they already have one and we turn it into the contract that they need. But yeah, but also just people randomly coming out of industry, not even affiliated with the government. They just have this great tech. And I like those clients, and they're not necessarily, I don't cap them at 100 hours and all that kind of stuff. We pretty much do a lot of work for them for free. Just getting them into the government space, just because being a retired Navy person and being affiliated with the Department of Defense and all of that stuff, I want to help as many people as I can, but I definitely want to make our military as successful as possible.
Absolutely love that. So with that being said, and this niche that you're in here, Ted, walk us through what works best for you on the acquisition. How are you having consistent clients coming into you, whether that's referral based from your past successes or ads that you're running successfully, if not your social media on the organic side? Walk us through what that acquisition piece looks like for you.
Yeah, it basically started out with just LinkedIn, right? I throw stuff up on LinkedIn not as often as I should. Right now, the majority of my clients are just word of mouth. Somebody talked to somebody and said, "Hey, we'll go talk to Ted. He can help you out." So that's how I'm getting the majority of my clients. I have 2 books that I've written that are coming out here very soon that should drive some interest, but it also gives away a few of my trade secrets. But I'm not willing to I'll give it away as much as possible, but eventually somebody's going to need some help and I'm there to help them. Yeah, I don't have a big marketing campaign going on, but your podcast will certainly help. Maybe we can get some business there, but it's not about me driving business. Yeah. I'm at a point where a friend of mine is in this space. I have a group of people that I loosely call the SBIR Consortium, and they're all people that deal with SBIRs like I do.
Yeah.
And he coined the term catastrophic success. And I've adopted that to my own situation of I really started this journey full time just in April, but we've been working on the periphery for a long time. But in April, it became a full time, this is my job, this is my livelihood. And I've adopted his catastrophic success term because I'm at a point where I'm going to have to bring other people on, or I have to refer them to my friends to be able to support them. It's a lot of fun.
I love it. Walk us through that a bit, because it sounds like things are going great. How are you approaching the idea of scaling? I know you just said there you're going to have to start bringing people on to help you out. What does that look like, especially on the lead side, right? So are you thinking about running ads to get that scale, continue growing the company and the business on that front? And then again, as you mentioned, expanding internally as well with a sales team, marketing team, the whole nine. What's your vision on scaling the company right now?
I think for 2025, I have 4 individuals who will come on as just commission-based consultants for SBIR Connect and help us drive those connections and those sales transactions. And then in 2026, we'll probably have to expand that even more, where I've got some people in mind that are interested in working with SBIR Connect in a way, but I need probably 4 more Teds to be able to do what we want to do, right? So I got to find those people that they're essentially either better than me or in that same market or that same level of SBIR authority that you can be in, that we can really make this thing blow up in 2026.
So as of right now, you're still a solopreneur, pretty much running everything on your own. And this year, you're looking to bring on those 4 commission-based consultants and start building it out from there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love it.
So we have two sides of it, right? We have SBIR Connect, where we're doing all the consulting. I have a beta test out there right now, the SBIR Tech Marketplace, where people can just come and shop. So we're going to build that out so it will automate some of the stuff that we have to do by hand and those things now, but we'll be able to drive even more business. And I've got a lot of hits from that beta site already. So I've booked 3 different consulting times here in the last week just from people hitting that site.
There we go. Okay, so get some natural traction, organic traction from that as well. So, I mean, with that being said, obviously you have a lot of moving pieces here. You're wearing a lot of hats right now, Ted. What would you say is the biggest bottleneck that you are thinking about to growth, to that scale, whether it is consistent quality lead generation or converting those leads into clients or the fulfillment side? What are you looking at right now as a bottleneck that needs to be solved?
Time.
Yeah.
I run out of it routinely, right? So I can only work till 10 p.m. every so often. I think getting the assistance that we need really got to get down to the nuts and bolts of what is our solid plan for 2025. How many clients do I need to bring on board? Do those four that I want to bring on board make sense? And can they fulfill the pipeline that we need to make it successful, right? So there may be people or pieces or technology that we got to bring in to help us do all of that. So those are all things we're talking about. And there may be a point where we have to just start raising some capital to be able to do it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So with that, that really sounds like the picture for 2025. So really just working on that scale, expanding the team, getting a good amount of clients in the door, and then really at the end of the year, really being able to reassess and say, okay, here's where we build moving forward from now. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
I love it. I
It's
love it.
it's not hard to start a conversation with a small business that says, "Hey, I can get you a sole source contract for $10,000 that may be potentially worth 250 million." That'll definitely get their attention.
Yeah, I'll say. I'll definitely say so there. So, what do you see being in this niche? I mean, you're one of the first that I've had on the show, and we've done over 850 episodes, Ted, and one of the first in this space. So, how do you see the SBIR program and government contracting evolving in the coming years, especially with your focus on defense and unmanned systems? What are you really doing to position SBIR Connect in front of that evolution that you're seeing?
Well, I think I want Simmer Connect to be the driver of a lot of federal agencies now accepting phase three sole source contracts as a solution that to them that seems too good to be true. It's a bit of an easy button for the government contracting folks to not have to do three bids and do all that competitive analysis and all that stuff. If I can just sole source it to somebody that has the tech that I want and I can do it under a phase three, and I can get that done in 60 or 90 days, that's foreign to them.
Yeah.
So my biggest play right now is educating the government officials and contracting officers to say, yes, this is a great idea. It's a legal program. You're not going to go to jail. And this is how we can pull it off. So I've developed training materials that I'm farming out to the contracting officers and stuff to be able to get them familiar with it and get them to accept it. But I see Silver Connect as leading the charge of educating the government masses that this is a good solution that every one of them should use. Because a lot of them don't understand that every contracting officer with a warrant authority can do one of these contracts. They think it takes something special to do it, but it doesn't.
Incredible. Incredible. With that, I do want to take us into the lightning round here, Ted, just to really give a bit more to our listeners. And on this side of things, I would love to know a tool or a resource that you're using. Maybe it's a leadership lesson from your Navy days or SBIR strategy or an AI tool. But what's really been a game changer for the company this far?
That's a pretty hard question. I think AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, every AI tool that is available to me, I am using pretty constantly. There's a few that I really like that I promote to a lot of people, but I think that's been the real game changer. Grandson's going on a walk.
Yep. I love it. I love it. Another question for you on this side here with the lightning, Ted, is going to be as far as advice goes. What is the best piece of advice that you've personally received about scaling a mission-driven business like you are now?
I got one guy that I interact with on LinkedIn, Rick Black, who does raising capital. I'm not specifically raising capital, but he reached out to me one day and he thought I had a pretty neat idea with one of my former businesses that I had. And he inspired me to just, you have to go for it. You got to quit asking yourself for permission or others. You just have to actually understand where it is that you want to go. And once you see a little bit of success, that should give you enough motivation to say that is something that you're definitely going to do and you have a passion about.
Incredible. Incredible. And then last, but definitely not least, Ted, what is a piece of advice that you can offer to our listeners tuning in right now, other founders, entrepreneurs? What can you give them before we wrap up the show?
I think the federal market space is a huge place for people to play. It's not difficult to get into it. It's not really difficult to get a contract. It just seems overwhelming at times. And people like myself and SBIR Connect and the SBIR marketplace, we're trying to make that as seamless and as frictionless as possible for somebody to get into the market space. So if you're doing all commercial work, that's great, but the federal government's always going to spend so many trillions a year. You need to be in line to be able to get some of that money, and you need a SBIR contract to be able to do it.
Incredible. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Ted, just want to thank you again for coming on the show, sharing that incredible journey and your insights with us. Clear as day that you're going to continue to do some amazing things in this space. Truly appreciate you coming on the show and walking us through what it takes to be in this space and in this field. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, which I know so many of you have, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also check out SBIR Connect at SBIRconnect.com to learn more about their consulting and matchmaking services. And follow Ted on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Theodore-Ted-Dennis. For more resources and insights, visit closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth through trained appointment setters and world-class marketing systems. Until then, keep climbing, and we'll see you on the next one.